I mean, you got in within the first minute. If you didn't get a notification, that's still pretty good. We'll get started. I'm early anyways. There is a lot to talk about. I imagine a few days at least, because of the patch certification process. What worked tonight, Adia? Did you get a notification, an alarm, Discord? Yes, so much to talk about today. It is release day. It is time to turn the music down a little bit. So that's a bit in the background. If that's too much, let me know. I was thinking of putting together a video to kind of talk about all the things that are broken and caution people. And I'm pretty sure if I do it, I'm going to do it in one take and put the exact same care and consideration into my video that they put into the update, which is a bare minimum to make it a viable product and get it out the door. Apparently that works for the game, so why should I put a ton more effort? I saw that you found more stuff, yeah. Just open up the app and use the first stream I saw. I'll take it. We're going to talk about the new DLC, and specifically from the perspective of an unmodded console player. They really, really messed this one up, which on one hand is particularly amazing because this is Tantalus. This is the company that handled the console port. And apparently they don't test even the most basic things. Like they check that, like, okay, the new DLC, like, can I put a new building in maybe? But that's about it. I don't know. I don't even know what they play test on console, but it is not a lot because there is so much broken. Some of it is really simple stuff in the UI, and I have heard that it is not an issue if you use a mouse, which is probably why they don't find that stuff, because they're probably not even ever playing with a controller. I remember having a tough time explaining controller performance issues on City Skylines 2 to the dev team because none of them had ever used a controller to play the game. Could not understand what I was talking about with performance issues by forcibly moving the camera when you're drawing roads. Like, no understanding that the camera moved when you draw roads with a controller. Doesn't Bork save files? I don't think that it will. For comparison, my 11th birthday sucked too, so... that humor coming in with the... the Larry, oh my god. Okay, all right, so... Well, I don't know. We could give it a minute or two. It's 8:58. I'm not gonna... I guess I could dive into it. We could take the starting soon off. Okay, so today is release day. Of course, they always throw out the caution that, hey, mods are going to break. But in this case, if we come over here, do I still have that? I got that overlay on that I need to turn off, and the gradient. There we go. Because we're not doing Monster tonight. We're doing Epidemic. I say as the music cuts dramatically. So it's release day for DLC. We've got Race Day, Iconic Brutalism, renewed history. History renewed. I don't even know. I forget the third one. I'm sorry. It's Brum and Christo. The content creator packs are not at all the issue. I messed around a little bit with Race Day. It's kind of stupid. Also, I can't really use it because I play controller and you can't access sliders. So, again, they only test it in the most limited ways, and most likely with a keyboard and mouse, I'm guessing, because they don't know that the controller is broken all over the UI. We'll talk about that. So new, can I get out of cinematic camera? There we go. So all kinds of new stuff in Race Day. Not a lot in the free update. So what is the free update? What is the free update? Don't mind this. This is all temporary. We've created a nightmare situation here. An absolute nightmare situation. And some nightmare roads and traffic and stuff is going on over here. So, okay, these are all the new buildings. I will show you these, but what's in the free update? We've got fences on roads, broken. We've got this new info view. It's behind me. Hold on. It's behind me. Notice available jobs is at 0. It's broken. And then there's 2 billboards somewhere in the props. 2 billboards, 3 billboards, I don't know. I wouldn't even know where to look for them, honestly. They're right there. Are those them? Yeah. So look at this. We get 2 billboards. Broken fences. And a broken info view. That's your free update. We just went over the entire contents of the free update. It's fences on roads, which are broken on console because you can't remove them and you have to delete the road and replace them. I'll show you that in a minute. An info view that does not report any available jobs when the point of the info view is to help you find available jobs. Guys, were you not paying attention to what happened to the last devs? Does nobody want a job anymore? Free update. Xbox crash every 3 minutes. Devs are saying nothing. Yeah, so it might be map specific from what I've seen. Free update, complete joke. So the title of this stream is like, don't buy the free update. And someone got in early in the chat and was like, how can you even buy a free update? LOL. Like, right over your head. But that's the thing. Like, you kind of can't opt out of this. Like, this is the game now. But think about that. Like, what did they give us? So here, what's the unemployment rate? That thing says 2.2%. Unemployment is at 2%. Was that 12% yesterday? So not only is this inaccurate, but was it reporting wrong the entire time? Is it reporting correct now? I didn't change anything with the balance, but all of a sudden I've got a ton more residential demand today, about the same commercial, and no industrial demand, which is what I had when we left. So the update completely shifted the way that this is all balanced out, and more people found jobs apparently, or the whole system's just broken. I don't know. Can I get a refund for a free update? We should. We definitely should. Have they fixed the shitty tree textures they cooked up when the last update remastered? No. Tree textures are the same. The LODs are the same. The trees do not rotate. All that stuff is the same. So none of that got any better. So what's new in the free update? Again, this broken info view. You create this info view and you don't realize that it constantly reports 0 available jobs, that it just bottoms out employment and it never apparently has a problem. I don't know what happened to the balance, but it completely shifted the balance of what's necessary in my city. We needed office most of all and no residential, and now it just wants a ton of people to move in. For 0 available jobs, mind you. Think about getting back on it, but I guess not. I would wait, honestly. So let's talk about, like, okay, you're playing the game, you're having fun. Let's do some things. Like, let's say we're setting up a city for the first time and we're coming over here and we want to adjust the sliders on the production of one of our factories. I'm pressing the D-pad up, which from one of these fields, sorry, I realize my camera's up here. Like, I'm pressing the D-pad up. Doesn't matter how many times I press it or where I press it from, right? You can't modify things. You can't modify things that have sliders and most drop downs. So for example, let's head over to the university. Let's go in here and let's say we wanted to adjust the slider for academic staff on our academic works. Now in my case, everything's been researched, but I can't access that slider. When I come over here to, where do you adjust like ticket prices? That's move the stadium. That's routes. There we go. So like, you know, those sliders up there where you would affect like the team budget and the cheerleading budget and the coaching staff. Those things are not accessible to a controller player. I could maybe find another mouse laying around. Hang on, I don't think this one's USB-C. Yeah, I can do this one. Hold on. Let's see, does it work? Does it work when you plug in the middle of a game? I've never done this before. But let's find out. Sorry, I'm gonna have to reroute this tomorrow for work. Okay, so. I have to find this in the dark now. Come on now. Come on, USB. You like, how many times does this happen to you where you're like, you put the USB in, no, it was wrong, I gotta do it the other way. But that's wrong and you had it right the first time? Okay, so look at this. We've got a mouse plugged in now. So I'm pretty sure if I go in, I don't even know how to get in there. Now if I come in here, can I go into what? This? And now I can access these sliders. It's super finicky, but like, okay, I can access those sliders. Also, if I'm using the keyboard like I have the keyboard plugged in, but I did not plug the keyboard in. Okay, so let's say you come down here. Here, this I can do with the keyboard and mouse, so I haven't done this. We'll go to fences. We'll select a fence, in this case, like the park fence, and we click the side of the road that we want to add it to, and we right-click to remove it. That works great. That works great on console. Now let's do that with a controller. We press A to put the fence down. What button do you think you press to remove the fence? I'll give you a hint. It's on the mouse! It's not on the controller because it doesn't exist on the controller, and nobody realized that because they don't play a console game with a controller before they test and ship it. How lazy and stupid is your process that you don't think about the baseline player when you're shipping and selling a product to them? Does the Xbox come with a keyboard and mouse when you buy it? No, it comes with a controller. You spend a lot of time adapting really good controls, if I may say, to that controller. But no one there knows that you don't have a right-click function on the controller, that it is buried in other ways, that we have to go in to, instead of selecting a road tool and right-clicking, like we go into a road tool menu and do things that way. So if you want to plug in a keyboard and mouse, like all of those things are accessible to you. If you want to be a controller player, which I hate the keyboard doesn't let you remap, and it's not the same as the default keyboard on PC. It's infuriating switching back and forth. So if you want to use a mouse, like, it works. If you want to use a keyboard, you cannot remove, if you want to use a controller, you cannot remove this fence. There is no button that will remove the fence. If you make a mistake and put it like Look at this. They were not gathering like that before. That might be new. They were more spread out on the event. That's another concern. So there's workarounds if you want to use a mouse, but it just like it screams that they do not play test this game in any serious capacity, and they only do it with a keyboard and mouse. They don't do it with a controller, which you'd think you would do, but what do I know? So let's say we'll put the fence here, but we want to do it there, and maybe I want to do it here, but oh dang it, like look at that, it prevents people from walking. Oh no, it doesn't. They walk right through it, but it doesn't look right, and I want to delete it, but you can't remove it. So the only thing you can do is completely break the roads. Like, this is how you remove a fence. Where's the one ways? This is how you remove a fence on console version. Trees. You have to redraw the road. And if you had zoning there, you'd have to rezone. And if you happened to be playing when you did that and dezoned everything, you'd have a bunch of stuff move out and de-level. Like, that is not a fun way to do this. I already unplugged the mouse and I'm regretting unplugging the mouse. So, like, does it work? Yes. But again, it says an awful lot about how they test things, which is like the minimal amount, and they don't consider. Am I in the minority? Who's using a controller versus a keyboard and mouse? Can people just chime in and chat? Like, you don't like just K&M or C. Like, doesn't even matter. You don't have to type anything out. You do have to be subscribed, but you can unsubscribe. Just hop in the chat for a second. I really want to know. I don't know if we need to run a poll on it. I could do a poll, but I am curious. Whatever, we'll just do a poll. Or not. Is it not going to let me? Controller, keyboard, mouse. Okay, yeah, just do it in the chat. It's easier. I'm terrible at YouTube. I'm terrible at monitoring chat and managing chat. I see a lot of controllers coming up. I don't think I'm in the minority here. Right? Like, but okay, you got both connected. You know what I would say? Like, if I got space at my desk, like having that just there for like zone painting or district painting would be awesome. But it's so ridiculous that they missed all these things. And the reason that they missed it is, again, because they broke the UI. Let me fix this road by deleting it and redrawing it. Because that's fun. Because remember, the problem that this is saving you is having to deal with a super finicky fence around maybe a curvy road. And then when you put the fence in the wrong spot where you didn't mean to put it, now you have to redraw the pain in the butt curvy road that you had there. Did we really save ourselves any work? Yeah, so okay, a lot of controllers, but we got a PC player too. I'm sure there's some of you out there. This is not far from a perfect update, but it's particularly broken on the console side of things. And I said this to Flyvox earlier. If I saw Flyvox was in the chat. He can't stay up till 3 a.m. He's in Germany. Hopefully he'll watch the replay. But I was saying to him, like, I may have said this before, but like, I am honestly surprised that I am as surprised as I am, because this is absolutely par for the course, the kind of crap they have pushed out since Remastered, honestly. Like, Remastered was shoved out the door in February, March. This company, PDX specifically, Paradox Interactive, works so much by the fiscal quarterly reports.
And even view distant weather systems across the map.
So, if you'll remember, right, like, man, I am pasty white without HDR on. Holy cow, when that fog comes on, look at me. I am just like a marshmallow. There we go, a little bit more natural lighting. So, they announced mid-February 2023 Remastered. I was all excited. I didn't know anything about CS2 coming. They shipped it, got it out like 2 weeks later after the announcement, and immediately announced CS2. And you know that like that was a very intentional decision. Like, you got to get this out the door now because it's going to sell less if you get it out the door after the announcement of CS2. It's announced in March. It's coming in October. Like, plenty of people aren't going to plunk down $40 on a city building game that they, one, already own probably. And two, well, the sequel's coming out in 6 months. That's going to affect your business. But Remastered was shoved out the door. One, because of that timing, and two, because it was February. I've talked about this before, but Paradox Interactive has public shareholders. As a consequence of that, a publicly traded company has to explain how it did make money last quarter, last year, and how it plans to make money going forward. So it's very transparent. You can literally read their business model. And I think people don't understand this enough. Paradox Interactive makes money through a bunch of different games. Specifically, their bread and butter, according to their financial reports, was City Skylines. I can tell you it is not right now. It was City Skylines. And the whole model there is to build a product and then lean on it for a very long time. Continue to develop content on top of it, but also to rely on the community to build out content and sell it through CCPs, which are the two of the things that I approve of here, especially for console players. They give us some great options. We will show those in a minute. But just like in February 2023, they pushed Remastered out to get that little cash bump before announcing CS2 at the end of March. And it is very much driven on quarterly profit motives. Get cities out there, and then you keep plunking down content on top of it. And you keep getting people excited, and they come back to the game because there's something new. And they buy other things that they didn't buy before. And it just creates a system where you spent money once on the game, then you spend a little bit here or there, and keep reinvigorating the community to spend more and more money over the years into it. So they did that with Remastered, and what did they do here? Right? So Colossal Order delivers the Ultimate Edition content in December 2025 and swiftly are kicked in the rear right out the door. Tantalus has been working on the CS1 stuff for a while, but they're obviously officially in charge now. This is their first DLC in Race Day. They broke so much of the game on console. And again, it's partially like, oh, they didn't use a controller most likely. I hope that's what it is, because if they used a controller and didn't figure out that it was this broken, that's even worse. But I'm going to guess that they only test it with a keyboard and mouse. It's really it's shameful, honestly, at this point that this is their bread and butter, and that they are so incompetent at delivering it, and that after all the egg on the face of Colossal Order and what happened with CS2, hey, meet Iceflake Studios. It's Christmas. We're just taking over. We'll give you an update at the beginning of the year. Hey, Q1, fiscal year, Q1. We've got DLC for you because we need to make money off this thing. Literal guns to their head to crank DLC out the door. Like, if you really cared about fixing this, maybe you wouldn't be rushing a paid DLC out the door in the first 3 months of ownership. But that's the thing. As much as the devs may care, and as much as they may want it to succeed, as much as they may be talented, they have a bunch of evil, money-mongering idiots at the helm. And the reason that I know this, this is not libel or slander in any way, because they clearly document what their financial motives are in their own analysis. And they cannot miss a quarter. They can't. They had to push this update out this quarter because the money here needs to be more than the money back there. And the next money needs to be more than that. And the product output be damned. Doesn't matter. You don't matter. Especially if you're a controller player. They don't care about you. I wrote an absolutely unhinged description. I don't know if anybody read it. I gotta go find it. Okay, shut up. I'm playing my own audio back. The latest round of DLC is out, and the game is broken on console and remastered. Good news, it won't cost you anything because it's a free update that breaks a bunch of stuff, even if you didn't pick up the DLC. One of my favorite features is the free update to roadside fences. It was a short list of 3 features, so low bar to get over. It was that, billboards, or a busted employment infoview. There's currently no way to remove fences from roads on consoles. You have to delete the road and rebuild. So save early and save often, because Paradox and Tantalus don't care about console players. Objective fact. Let's talk about this husk of a game being strung along like the corpse of Terry Kiser in Weekend at Bernie's. A lot of people don't know, but they used his actual corpse for the movie. True story. See, Skylines is a game. Have questions? We probably have answers. Tips, tricks, beginner's help, and cautionary tales. And we're really focusing on that last one tonight. Oh, man. What a fun release day. What a fun release day for everything to break. Okay, there were other things too. Check this out. This is kind of funny. Let's go to our park and let's adjust the pricing on the park. You ready for this? So I'm going to push to go over to the park settings. And here you'll notice that we don't need to go up to a slider. The number's right here. So we should be able to easily adjust it. Except every time I push down, notice I'm way down here in the control. I'm pushing down, it goes left. If I push left, it goes left. If I push right, it goes right. If I push up, it decides to go one way or the other. It may go left, it may go right. Up doesn't give a fuck about you. It doesn't care what you want. What does up want? Up wants to go left and right. It's so simple. It's maddening that this stuff does not get picked up. Like, you're not testing. Don't lie to me and tell me you're testing. Like, you're not doing your job. Whose job? Like, somebody's getting paid for QA and isn't finding basic stuff like this. Like, I'm pushing up on the D-pad. Left and right. Up on the D-pad, left and right. It didn't get noticed because they don't use controllers. And any testing that they do is not good. But like, how are you selling a console product and not plugging in a controller? I guarantee all these same problems are happening on PlayStation. There's no way it's not. And it's gotta be enough of the code base that they're repeating and not checking. And like, I saw more crash reports on PlayStation than I saw on Xbox, honestly, in the tickets. Automated QA only, and that's clear. I mean, it's lazy. It's like when you change things, like somebody had to know they were changing some behavior in the UI, or maybe it's just like so little of a consideration that like they don't understand that console players play this game with a controller. They think like they only use keyboard and mouse on Xbox and PlayStation, right? And Switch, right? Those are all keyboard and mouse platforms. Why do they not ask the community to beta test? I mean, to be fair, I technically used to be a beta tester until I criticized CS2, and then they stopped giving me keys and access. So as long as you love the game and don't tell them there's any problems, you could be a beta tester too. Unfortunately, I don't think that gets them the feedback that they need. Here's the feedback you need. You're a bunch of idiots. Oh, I can't handle it. It's so frustrating. If I was the QA manager, I would be tearing into somebody finding out about this. Like, I would hope that this kind of stuff wouldn't go out the door, but I would be having a chat. with somebody about how the hell did you miss this? not using a controller part of your QA process on a console release. Just because a game supports keyboard and mouse, like, do you think the Call of Duty devs, like, don't find out if the console buttons are working before they ship Call of Duty 7? That's probably a bad example. I don't know how messy that thing was at launch. But you know what I'm talking about, like... It's bad. It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed, and I don't work there. This isn't my job. I want to play a good update. I want to enjoy the game and have a good update and make, I don't know, maybe people need new tutorials on something. I'd love to make some new tutorials. When playing the game is frustrating and it gets worse every time you update it, it's hard to get invested in that creative process. It needs a keyboard. It doesn't, no, not technically. It doesn't need a keyboard or mouse for console. Just if you want the game to work today. So here's the thing, right? Industries, campus, park life, all broken right now. Because without a mouse, I cannot go change any of my budgets. I can't change the coaching staff, the cheerleading budget. I can't go into the academic works tab and change academic staff. If we go to a park, where's the park? This one's my favorite because you adjust the pricing with the D-pad. And when you press left in the D-pad, it goes left. When you press right in the D-pad, it goes right. When you press down, it goes left. When you press up, it goes left and then right. So here's a bunch of up presses. So like I literally can't tell it to go down because it thinks I'm pressing left. Sometimes, so like if you jam it really fast, double taps will work, but you have to hit it really fast. It's stupid. If you just slow tap it like a normal human, it'll go down like every other press. But like, why does it go left and right when I push up? They changed something for that to happen. So that's parks. We saw schools is broken. Industries does not let you adjust any of the sliders in the factories. So you can change the production rate. I have my whole town set up for 150% production rate. But like if I started a new town, you can't change that stuff. You can't adapt and push it further and make more money. Like I didn't make $1 billion in this city with the cheats off by not being able to tweak things like this. Like, you know what I haven't looked at? Surely economy sliders work, right? Okay, thank God. Whew, I was gonna blow my stack if that stuff didn't work. So let's see. We talked industries. Variated buildings. Are you ready for this? So this is the same building technically. It has like a little market stall. This one has like the little stalls all the way around the outside. There's 3 versions of this. This is the market stall one I put diagonally, and this one has like a little cafe or something. These are one building that you can choose the variation of. Notice it's variation 2. Without a mouse, you cannot go to that building variation. Without a mouse, you cannot go to the building variations on things like parking garages because they're up there. In fact, do you notice that there's no icon showing for that building? So like this one shows like, oh, I can change the police car at the police station. No, you can't. That requires a mouse today because I can't get up there in the UI without a mouse. And over here, when you go to the parking garage, not only can I not change the appearance, but notice the picture of the parking garage doesn't even load. $23.99 for this bundle, by the way. And the free update got you anyways. Forestry tree farm variations, yes, that'll be another one, right? The tourist parks, don't mind the fire, but like if you want to change these trees, you need a mouse. I have not confirmed this one yet, but I heard it from Flyvox, and Flyvox, I would assume, had a somewhat reliable source here. I don't think I have anything anywhere in the city. But apparently pedestrian road, people don't walk on pedestrian roads, and you need to put footpaths near pedestrian roads to move people around. Footpaths for pedestrian roads, because they won't use the pedestrian roads. I love it. I love it so much. Let's make a little pedestrian area. Let's see. I had a problem with these early in the build, and I like abandoned them. So let's see here. If we we'll put it here, and we'll extend that zone out a little bit. And then we'll do all these roads as pedestrian roads. We'll just swap them. I don't really care like how it functions. I just want to see like if people will walk on them or not. So those cars should clear out. And there might have been something specific here I didn't understand about this bug, but let's just see if we get any. Like, the pedestrians are out there now, but are they there because they were walking there, or are they actually traversing these? It looks like they're actually traversing these streets. So there may be something going on there, but I did hear reports of pedestrian roads not working and people using walking paths to get the zones working again. Toll booth sliders, yeah, those I guarantee won't work because they're in that same spot in the UI, right? Where are those? Are those under roads and the end tab right here? I can't imagine a world where this isn't broken. Yeah. In this case, you have to go down to the UI, but you can't go down either, so. Not without a mouse. So, I am interested to know what the hell happened to my zoning, because my zoning was flip-flopped. Lots of industry demand, commercial in the middle, and no residential. Install the update, and it's flip-flopped. And again, what did we get with the free update? We got the broken fences, we got 2 billboards, and we got a broken info view. So, like, the billboards aren't broken, I guess? Is that the good news? But notice the available jobs has not changed and will never change and constantly reports 0. It's almost like nobody thought to look if this new info view was working or not. Like, hey, we're giving you 3 things and we changed all the game code and broke all your mods so you could have these new things that don't work. Nice job. Great job. Somebody said, I thought somebody said FPS, but they said FFS, which I totally agree with. But let's talk about FPS for a second. Are you ready for this? This is good. This is fun. Let's make it nighttime. We will check out the new buildings because the content creator packs should not be overlooked. Like they're great. I love them. Let's go lighten up our campus a little bit. Our campus is very dark. Hung a little bit there. Let's say we want to lighten up in between here. It's very dark back alley. This is dangerous for the female students. I'm just going to call it, okay? We're going to come into, is this props? That's leisure. Where are props under here? Yeah. Okay. So if we go to, is it not under props? Where are those new lights? Does somebody know where the new lights are? I'm going to go through all these things, but I need to know where the lights are. Are they a free update? Does somebody, yeah, so let me know if in the chat if somebody knows. Sports props? Like, do I have to go into like... Are they in this somewhere? Let me see. Oh, race day. Thank you. That is exactly what I'm looking for. Here they are. Okay. Look at that right away. Pop it out. Look at that. Look at how bright that is. Isn't that nice? But let's say like you put, I don't know, let's say you want to put a couple in an area and you want to like light up your quad or something. You want to get, you want to get a couple of these firing in a similar vicinity to one another. Let's see if it does it. It's not doing it as bad as it was doing it before. Like, I think if you put them, a bunch of them in a spot, this is maybe a little bit overdoing it. Let's see. Oh God, yeah. I don't know if that comes across in the stream, how bad the frame rate is compared to how it was 10 seconds ago. But it is not, like, it's not consistent. And maybe that doesn't come across. But it is dramatic frame impact. And I think it only matters if you have multiple loaded in, like, like when you load in the level of detail and you're close and it loads the close texture. I think it only matters if there are multiple loaded into that close texture. But the rates go bad fast. Like, when I'm playing, once in a while, like, it'll, like, you turn the camera and it'll pause and it'll hitch a little bit. That happens. It is way smoother on console in general than it is on the PC version. Something nice about it, like, it's consistent, or it was consistent. But those lights, man, oh my God, they look cool. But if you overuse them in any capacity or have multiple loaded in at the same time, like, it is just going to absolutely kill the frame rate. This is a Series X, remastered on Series X. Hotel and airport DLCs are a hot mess as well. Yes, because they rely on a lot of those same the same drop downs and sliders. Like, you can't change events, you can't change your ticket pricing or your room rates. You know what I'm saying? There is a lot of cool stuff. Let's switch gears and talk about some of the cool stuff, because I want this game to do well. If you know that it's broken right now, like, the good news is it's the free update that breaks it. So, like, you don't have to make a decision on whether you're paying for the break or not. Like, it's just whether you want to play or not. How do they manage to screw this up again? The CCPs do look great. Race day's okay, but gimmicky. I would totally agree. Yeah, let's get into that. Let's go talk about how cool the CCPs are. And specifically, I am going to use a lot of these in my new Boston build. So these are the, what do they call it? Iconic Brutalist? Let's talk about these first. And let's set the sunlight a little bit better so that it's more on the front of the buildings. A little bit flatter, okay? So we've got here, most of these are paired, some of them are not. This is a clinic, and you'll notice, like, there's a lot of cool detail. Grassy roofs, the air conditioner's spinning, you get the picnic benches up top. It's pretty sweet. This is a little college. Now, in this case, I think it supports, 4,600 students. That's not too bad. I really should turn that off because it's affecting my university, most likely. You've got the crematorium. This is the elementary school. This is a really cool building right here. Frame hitch there. Got a little playground, like, inside the center of the building, all cut off. I like that. I like that for kids' safety. Brutalist would fit perfectly with Green Cities. I think it's going to be great in Boston. Check out this high school. The high school is pretty cool. This is a hospital. This looks very awesome. I love this staircase. I would love to ride that rail in Skate 3. I would definitely tear up a line on that hospital. I think this is a library. We have here the larger fire department, the smaller fire station. We've got police, and then I had to actually move the other one to make it fit. It's across the street. But that's the little police station. But these are great. Little metro station. Same footprint, I believe, of a 2x2. Yep. But a different look on top. And then these are the Brutalist train stations. So you've got an above ground and a on ground metro. And these would be great on the Red Line north side of Boston, for sure. I really like this content creator pack. The Brutalist one is good. My only complaint is right here. This water is absolutely atrocious. And I know, like, PC players aren't used to coming down and looking at it from this perspective, but, like, it doesn't look a lot better up here. Like, either the water's not animating in and it's kind of okay, or it's a problem. There's no in between on that water texture. Maybe if you go a little bit slower, it's not quite as bad. It looks decent enough in these stand-ups. like where you can see like the water's running down these towers. It looks okay if you're not looking directly at it, I guess. But it is not a well done water texture, or it needs a water layer underneath it. Because it looks like this is just like a netting of moss that's rolling down there. It's not, I don't know. It's not the most impressive thing about the pack. We should step away and stop over examining it because it's just making it look bad. This is a cute little plaza object. This one is not lit at all, which I thought was odd. So if you look at these at night, it's just totally dark, where all of the other buildings have at least some kind of light. Although honestly, that one's off. So I guess that, but the buildings are very dark at night, but they have some lights, as you can see. The hospital actually it has some interesting textures in the windows that make it look like an actual hospital. The library's fairly simple, but they've all got a good look. But again, particularly dark is this one last object. I feel like, did they forget the lights on it? Because like every other thing has lights. It's odd that this one does not. What is this one called? Sunken Circle Plaza. What did they break? Oh, they broke a lot of stuff. I hope you don't need any sliders. If you play with keyboard and mouse, you're totally fine, actually, I should say, for the most part. There's very little broken. But if you play with a controller, whoo. What did I miss? Move the mouse. Is there any point putting in a normal airport or just wait longer for the international airport? Guessing I should wait. So I use, I don't even use, I've never made an airport. I'm going to in New Boston. I use one of the preset assets. The international airport is totally fine. I don't think airport brings you, it does bring you some tourists, but you can put like the cool touristy things right next to the airport, and then they never even hit your transit network. They come to town, look at the monument, get back on an airplane, and go home. So that works out kind of nice. You can charge them if you have Park Life to walk there too. I use this though. This is from Sunset Harbor, I believe. I think it's found under the hubs. It's the Metropolitan Airport. It has two metro stations or two metro lines built in, 2 helicopters, obviously a parking lot and some road access, and then a couple runways. It's sufficient in size for me. It's big enough. It does the job. You can only have so many planes taking off at the same time and landing at the same time. So taxes work. Yes. So like the budgets work just fine, right? This part works fine. Some things like transit work okay too. So for example, where do you change metro lines, right? So if I go to a metro station and I want to change to one of my different, higher capacity, I can access this. This is accessible. But if you have a college or a park or an industry, what you can't do is you can't come in here, and I can't go up to academic staff and adjust that. I can't go to varsity sports and go up to adjust the coaching staff, the cheerleading budget. If you have an industry factory, this is broken as well. The ability to adjust the production rates on your factories. You can do it with a mouse. You can just go right up there and click on it and drag it around. But if you have a controller, it is literally not accessible to you. Taxi depot is broken. Yes, you can't change vehicles there either. Tried all the new features yet. I'm talking about how broken it all is on console, especially. So I've tried many of the new features, and I've also reminisced about all the things we can't modify anymore. It's pretty bad. If you're using a mouse on console, you're totally fine for most of my complaints. But they literally broke the UI if you're using a controller, and it's incredibly frustrating. So I've been ranting about that. Same issue with industry, can't go up. Exactly. You cannot go up. Like, that doesn't exist in your UI. I don't know what they did. No more showing where the Sims live when selecting the game. We haven't had a real good fire tonight, which is surprising. Okay, let's take a look through the rest of these buildings, because I am going to knock these down because our budget is crazy bad right now, and we don't maintain $1 billion in the bank by being this bad at our management. So There are glitches again, things that they missed that they could have easily found with their keyboard and mouse setup. If you come into unique buildings and we look at these uniques, notice that this suggests it's a central library, that it has not been built, but I can just like keep building multiple copies of it. Every single other unique, like here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 copies of it. Every other unique, you'll notice, is exactly that. It's unique, and once you place it, you can't place another. But just like Eden Project, you can place unlimited copies. They still haven't fixed that. I don't think, right? They didn't fix that? No. You can put down multiple Eden Projects if you want. That's totally fine. I don't think it has any kind of knock-on effect. It can't push the level up any further. Can you push up on the menu with a directional D-pad, please? No, you cannot. That's what that's my complaint. You cannot. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Ready? Go into there. What would you do? You would press up on the D-pad. When I press up, it goes left and right. There's no way for it to go up. If I go over to Academic Works, there is no way to go up. It works 100% fine every time if you plug in a mouse. I already disconnected it, but I had a mouse plugged in earlier. Like if you plug in a mouse, all that stuff is accessible. Parks is a little finicky. It can work, but if you go over there, this is where I think it's funniest. Is like if you look what I'm pressing, right? So if I press left on the D-pad, it's going to go left. If I press right, it's going to go right. If I press down, it goes back to the left. And if I press up, it goes back and forth. It doesn't even go one way consistently. It doesn't know like what to do. So when I come over here and say like, oh, I want to put the ticket price down, when I press down, it goes left. When I press left, it goes left. They didn't test it with a controller. So, sorry, okay, you're suggesting a different route. I'm down to try it. Open Parks, push up on the D-pad, should open the mega menu. Oh, you mean like over here? So like when I'm on Parks and I push this menu up. Yeah, that works. That's totally fine. That doesn't help us set prices or sliders on our factories or anything like that, or do any kind of management. We can't change vehicles on buildings. So like if we go to, where do I have a firehouse? Down here somewhere? On the main street? Do I not have a firehouse? Where do I have a firehouse? Right here. So like with the vehicles of the world and all that stuff, like you should be able to change what ambulances look like, what fire trucks look like, but like I can press up all day. I can press it from different spaces in the UI. You can't go there with a controller. Temperate map is crashing a lot, but a tropical it's not. Yeah, there are definitely some maps that people are reporting like crashing like clockwork, and then others that are fine for that same console. So yeah, no, they didn't break that. Like there's spots where it does work. But it's very inconsistent. Like one place that it does work is you can go into Metro and like I can access this. I can change my vehicles here. But that same DLC, I can't access that content to change like what a fire truck model looks like or what an ambulance or a police car looks like. And I'm happy to check. I'm here to caution people. Although to be fair, one of my biggest cautions is don't install the free update. Because that's what breaks all this stuff. You don't need the DLC to break this stuff. We're going back though. We're going to get positive for a minute and talk about content creator packs. These are our mods on console. This is how we get more stuff. And I am okay with this stuff in this update. Let's get the sun in the best spot we can for the front of the buildings. I didn't pick a great spot for these. I'm sorry. That's not too bad there. What do we have here? So this is Brutalist City Hall, which would fit right in, again, in New Boston. I'm definitely going to use a lot of this stuff. There is a theater. There is an office building. This one's a little crazy looking. Look at this thing. Can we get down there a little bit? This thing's crazy. The Brutalist Stack Towers. This one's a very cool one. The Clover Building. This was the library. Oh, this is from the other pack. Sorry, this was across the street. Let's move this so that we don't get these confused. These are the renewed history. So just because we got to make some space and I got to think about where these go, I'm gonna get rid of these. But the iconic Brutalist, I highly recommend. It's a really cool looking pack. You get some new city service buildings, police, college. We've got new schools for elementary and high school. This hospital is great. I love it. I think that one of the best hospital options we had was the Japan one was a really good one. This is the library. We've got that hung really weird. Fire station. So all really cool stuff. I didn't have any of this hooked up. It's just kind of wasting budget right now. And then the train stations and parks. One that is not lit and one that has this water texture, which is really bad. But overall, I'm really impressed with that pack. So let's take a look at this other pack, which is the Renewed History. And this has a pretty consistent theme. If you look at the way that the financial buildings in financial districts zone in, they do a lot of this same thing. They have an older building on the bottom. Maybe it's commercial, right? And, 4 or 5 stories tops. And then they build a skyscraper out of the middle of it. And if you look at, some of the skyscrapers in New York, for example, you'll see plenty of this. You'll definitely see it in the financial district, especially where they didn't knock anything down. They just kept building on top of stuff. And I think this tells that story of that era of architecture a lot better than the Financial Districts does. Financial Districts is not a great DLC. It does not introduce any fun mechanics. I think it's absolutely bottom tier as far as what you should get. Like, you should own every other DLC before you get something like Financial Districts. It's just not worth it. These, though, are really cool buildings. They're not necessarily my style, and I don't know how much I will use them because they are so tall. This is the tallest building in the game. I think the next tallest building is like just below like that little platform there, right there. It's like about that tall as that notch in the building. These have some weird WOD things going on. Like if you look from the right distance as you pan a camera, it kind of does a weird like optical illusion. They're cool. They're great. I don't like them as much as the Brutalist, but they definitely would fit in a cool city build. What is this one? I don't even know what this one is. The museum. Oh, is AC in the chat? Because this looks an awful lot like the Montreal modern art on the main strip there, kind of. I feel like they had the multicolor banners up years ago. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but it's very reminiscent to me of a museum in downtown Montreal. I could be imagining things. They're all complaining about power now, so there's some really cool buildings. Let's get the sun around here a little bit and take a look at the back street here. Back street's back. I like this. I like all the color on this one. Guessing keyboard and mouse for the PS5, right? I mean, at least for a bit, temporarily. These are great, though. What does he have? Basketball courts up top? A 2-tiered basketball court? I see a lot of this in this this pack. The fact that these courts double as soccer courts, which is totally fine. But if you're playing basketball and there's a giant metal post at the goal line there, like, you are going to get run into that and have a hospital visit. Those cannot be there while you're playing basketball. It just does not work. With the Renewed, have you seen details and additional benefits? Some suggest, not test and see if they do. I haven't played with these much. I dropped them in the corner of my city and didn't touch them. So I don't know what their impact is. Not even buying the DLC till they fix this. Yeah, I mean, the problem is, like, the game is not as fun to play today as it was yesterday. They've objectively made the game worse overnight and made it tougher to play. And I realize, like, how this slips by because they don't play it with a controller. And plenty of PC players will be like, oh, it's working fine for me. I don't see what the problem is. Kind of looks like the Montreal Museum, but not quite. Sorry, I had to Google it because it's been a while. There was a few years back. I don't know. I think I was there. I haven't been there since like 2019. I think. A couple months before the pandemic. I haven't been up there. Gotta get my wife and baby mouse up there. I think it's time. Okay, so here are the parks that we have. Check it out. This is one park. I will say Renewed History looks very cool. It might work in your city. It may not. I'm on the fence about Renewed History. I really like the iconic brutalist style. It fits more into the builds that I do. But this right here, these parks, they're great. I hope you like hexagons. So what do we got? We've got a double basketball court, again, with the most painful soccer net to run into. A bunch of hexagons for sunshade. You've got the dome with the hexagons. You've got the factory with the hexagons. You've got the little house with the hexagons. This one doesn't have any. And then back to the hexagons for the double park. You've got the single with the stadium on the side. The triple hex, the single hex, and then standalone. And these are the same, but I put these down for a reason, just to show you that, like, just to show you that you can't select these objects. You can't move these once you place them? Okay, so you have to delete these if you want to move them, but you can rotate them any which direction you want, which is why I placed them like this. Also, sometimes it's very easy to get the ground to poke up through the bottom, and they have variations without fences, with fences on 3 sides, and a, what do you call it? A little bleacher. But apparently you can't move them once you put them down. Now this is cool. Notice these little bushes here. Where the hell are these? Are these under props? They are somewhere. I kind of want to show them. I forget where they are. Maybe landscaping? Content creator packs? No. No. Well, anyways, there's these new bushes, and you can put them really close together, and you can overlap them, which you couldn't do with bushes before. So they have very small hitboxes, so much to the point that, like, you can get these, you can see how many of them there are overlapping on one another. Like, I could delete this one. Wait, I could delete that one, and you don't even notice that it's gone. See that? Because I've got so many of them are able to overlap. So that is actually a really cool way to do, like, you know, some bushes in an area. Fill it with some of these hex things, and you're golden. But we should clean them out, just because they're wasted. But I don't even know where they are. I just remember, like, when I put them down, I was like, oh, that's cool. You can actually overlap. Little hex, medium hex, big hex, extra large, and you got that thing. This is kind of cool. There's, like, factory buildings. You can rebuild, like, a factory complex, whereas, like, you have that old abandoned factory, like, out by the train lines. Much prefer the brutalist aesthetic. Yeah. Another untested bug. Lots of untested bugs. So I do really like the packs. I think both of them are fine. There are all these little props as well. You got these here. I'll get down and show you these in person, since we can really get on this level. Chirper is actually a little taller than a standard sim. So here's Harold. Okay. So you've got little beach chairs, a little umbrella covered, little round table. That would be, I'd kind of like that by the pool, actually. This would be fun for a game night. This would be maybe better for a game night, but this is better if you're not constantly playing like 8-man. Little modern chairs and a little outdoor tiki bar, maybe a little fence, little umbrella covering for it, or a tent rather. And all these can overlap pretty good. So those are all part of the renewed history one. I think we cleared most of our stuff out. Let's delete all this, because again, we're trying to make money and not spend all this money on all these ridiculous buildings that we don't need. And I'm guessing these budgets are not very friendly for us. $224 a week. What are like what's the big skyscraper? 1,000. There we go. Yeah, that's a lot of budget here. A lot of budget tied up over here. We'll get back into the green. I hope, actually, you know what, to be fair, I haven't really looked at how the game changed the budget, right? Because it completely flopped my zoning around. So maybe this is not a profitable city anymore. Maybe they've broken much more in the economic simulation as well. Time will tell if we get our money back and we maintain billionaire status. But let's get rid of all this nonsense. And then did I do anything else for this? I don't think so. Oh, this was me testing out the fences and trying to figure out like how the hell do you delete fences you don't. You could flip them around. There are things that you can do with them, just not delete them without a mouse. So you could upgrade, and I could change these fences that are here to another type of fence. And you do it independently on each side of the street. You can also use the change direction, and it's not very obvious on that fence. But like this fence, you can see that it does flip the boards around, like where they're pinned to the cross posts. Some of them are more obvious than others, like which way the fence folds in, for example. But removing it is not an option unless you have a mouse, which is just super unfortunate. They really messed this up. We'll talk about race day in a minute, but I need a minute to decompress. How's everybody doing? How is your Tuesday? How is your excitement for this? Hold on a second, Todd.
An even view, distant weather systems across the map.
Sorry, I gotta let him get that in every time there's an edge of map fog. It's only fair.
An even view, distant weather systems across the map.
I mean, he's not gonna get 3 in a row, is he? Hopefully not. Never mind.
An even view, distant weather systems across the map.
Can we get a 4? We've never had a 4.
An even view, distant weather.
Nope. Okay, we're back.
16 times the detail.
Shut up, Todd. Okay. I also started double footpaths, 1 to normal path and 1 to cycle next to it. Don't know if it's a waste of time and space. I mean, if it's working for you, anything that reduces traffic, anything that's fun, I think those are the 2 most important things. Does it do something to reduce the traffic in this nightmare? And is it fun? And as long as it's one of those 2 things, you're doing a great job. I think they reduced the fun factor, though, today. I could be biased, though. Again, some people are having a fine time and don't know there's anything wrong with it because they play with a keyboard and mouse. I don't know if it was somebody trolling, but I saw, like, before the stream started, there was some chats back and forth, and someone was like, what's the problem? It's working fine for me. I assume they're on keyboard and mouse on console, or they don't play the game very deep if they didn't find any of these problems, because it's literally in every management system you can possibly go to. Everything I try and do. Well, I guess not everything, but a lot of what I do to manage the city at this point is just not accessible. Yeah, so I don't know if this impacts anybody's decision to pay for the DLC, but we'll talk about race day in a minute. Race day is arguably the big one, but this is Tantalus's first go at an actual mainline expansion themselves, and considering they blew up the console game so badly in the process, I don't think it was worth it. But again, that's some of my bias here. It's not the first time that I would have a dramatically different opinion probably about a DLC if I was a PC player. It's serviceable on the PC side, at least. I haven't dug into the race day stuff enough to know if I can even access. It'd be funny if they only tested it with keyboard and mouse.
An even view, distant weather systems across the map.
And they didn't find out like that you can't adjust the sliders on the events. Like somebody would have complained about that, right? I guess we should find that out, actually, because I'm kind of curious. And would it really surprise any of us? I'm pretty sure you used to be able to exit the camera by hitting X, and we're hitting B, or moving the sticks. Literally no buttons except the back select button works to get out of camera mode now, which is Interesting. I found race day unlocks levels a bit odd. The lights unlock around Worthy Village, but the rest doesn't unlock until Capital City. Interesting. Yeah, I started with a city that was obviously already at the top milestone, so I've lost 20,000 people. Where did we lose 20? Did we lose? Okay, what? Okay. Okay. Do we? Oh man, I deleted all that stuff and I didn't save it. So we have all those buildings back now. I can't do this much longer. How long is this Tantalus loading screen? Did I break my game? Is my game broken now? They really want you to know who made this. Don't worry, I didn't forget. Bunch of Muppets. Yeah. All our buildings are back. What happened to my population? My population was 125,000 steady. And now we're 20,000 down? Did I have 20,000 people living in those buildings? Did I just move 20,000 out? Were any of those residential? I don't even know what happened. All right, let's get in there and try and do a race day. I want to do a foot race. I want a marathon in my city, but I'm going to show you why I don't want a marathon in my city. Because the roads look like washed out mush and they don't utilize the lanes correctly. They moved to Sims 4. The money's flowing well. AC, what were you saying? They have an in-game currency that you can't earn in-game in Sims? Okay. Well, we had deleted all that stuff. Let's go over here and take a look at the beautiful race day functionality. We get some stuff going on. So look at these roads. You have to have what is called a start line event and a finish line event. They're parks. They're connected to the roads. So we have that here. There's a kid hopping around in the parking lane, which is kind of stupid. Like, don't play hopscotch in the parking lane, doofus. I'm not exactly clear. So does somebody know better than I? Like, what is the deal with the blue lanes? Are they, like, they're still normal lanes? Do people use them? Nobody's turned off yet. Like, literally, they don't. I mean, I guess they're just not taking any of those streets. That one just turned, like, so they did not use the right lane. They used the middle lane because they were turning left. Let's see if we take this next one down to a two-way. There's only one turning lane at that point. They should use it, right? The next person that turns right should turn right from the blue lane. Not from the center lane, right? Correct. 2 a.m. here? Well, I appreciate you stopping by so late. So get some sleep, good evening, and good luck on your cities, whether they may or may not have this DLC. As far as I know, the blue lanes are not used unless there's a race. They're definitely not used during the race. That's the thing that kills me. They're not used during the race. Technically, they're used to put up a fence. You know what? Let's set up an event. Let's see if we can even set up an event. So I come over to this thing. What can we name the... We can name the building. I don't care about that. We froze the game. We could move it. I don't want to do that. Spectate from building. That's... So it's a one fixed camera that you cannot move, and you can zoom in and out, but the buttons are reversed? You absolute Muppets! Zoom in is left trigger and zoom out is right trigger? To this disgustingly nauseating, inducing wide angle? Or we can look at this kid. There's that kid on the escalator again. Okay, so we can spectate from this, which is a horrible feature. We can click budget. Is there a new, like, it sent me here. It's like, hey, you can change budget. Certainly there's a race day breakout in budget, right? No, there is not. What is race day under? It's not leisure because that's DLC specific, right? Roads? No. I have no idea why they sent me into budget. I don't know what they want me to budget. This is routes. And then this is an event. Okay. I can go up to the new event. Guys, they actually expected somebody to use a D-pad to get up here. That is amazing. Your videos of Plainville are still useful, even though they're 5 years old. I watched them the other day. Bye-bye. Enjoy. I hope you enjoy. I really love Plainville, one of my favorite builds, and we may revisit that soon. Certainly if they fix the base game. So let's add a new event. We can go through. This is so weird. Like, okay, this is what they broke. Because look at this. This actually functions well. And there's a lot of stuff going on here. There's D-pad up to, I could do multiple events. I have multiple fields within here, and those have multiple drop downs that seem to accept date changes. We can choose to schedule the event. We can change the tiers and the cost and the thing that it is, and all of this seems to be sticking. Can I also go over and delete the event? I can. So this is what they did. Is they changed something to allow D-pad navigation here and didn't realize that the thing they were changing somewhere affected the pointer to the way that the UI handles all the other up to go to that thing. Those things don't exist in the same menu structure that this exists. They created this from scratch, and it works totally different and navigates actually pretty well with a D-pad. But in doing that, in changing that, the D-pad only navigates to these things the way that they inserted it in the code, most likely. So they need to tell it that those other things are also menus that should handle the same way effectively. They're probably named an old orphaned UI type object that designates a drop-down menu or a slider menu, and they just have a new way to handle it now. So that when you press up, it doesn't register that as like, oh, I can't go up because that's not a menu. The menus look like this. They look like the events for the schedule now. Okay, so we're gonna do a foot race. That makes total sense though. Like, this actually handles well, and they probably overrode a variable that like is looking for this type of a menu system. That should be an easy fix. The problem then becomes is certification process on consoles. You can't just like push out a new EXE and Steam's like, okay, here it is, 2 minutes later. You have to wait for certification, so it has to go through testing, and I'm pretty sure they have to pay for that. So like, it literally cost them to make this mistake, which could have been prevented by doing some basic testing and not rushing stuff out the door to meet quarterly profit motives. But okay, what is the date? It is, is this consistent at least? The day is 1st. So let's set it for September. September, what was it? The 21st night, remember. Boop, 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 boop. Tier 3, schedule the event. What is this? Cost? Look at the cost. 250 competitors. What is this? The amount charged to spectators, $100. First event, come on. So here's the thing, right? That event doesn't take place for another 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks. The road is already blocked off. This side road blocked off. Like the cars were driving through it a second ago, but now they're turning around. Now they can't use this. Weeks. Oh, those went through just fine. Okay, so did the service vehicles only use the blue lane now? That's a dump truck and an ambulance? Meanwhile, all these other cars are just like, I don't particularly care for your restrictions. People are obviously entertaining it this way and saying, I'm not turning in this way anymore. That car turned around. That was a wheelchair car. Yeah, see, like they're avoiding this now. And you can see like where the people are piling up. They're piling up on the sidewalk. Now, when the event goes live, the fences are going to go basically where the blue meets the road, where the first lane ends and the two middle lanes take over. The problem is the pedestrians don't move up to that fence to spectate the event, which is what they would do in real life. This would be shut down to car traffic. Any car traffic coming through would go right up the middle as an emergency service vehicle. Like, it's just not going to happen. Now, we could do, there's a new cobblestone road, which is unfortunately a little disappointing for some people because it doesn't have zoning on it. But we'll check that out after the race. We can see plenty of people gathering at the start here. But again, like we've got, okay, well, we got a day to go now, but you saw we had weeks to go and these fences go up. So technically that event starts today. Or it should. Like we can see that there's out the porta potties are stocked up now. There's a first aid tent. The city run banner, but like where are my runners at? Can they not get here because there isn't a road path to get to this thing now? Do I need to have where is it? Oh, wait, never mind. There we go. There we go. There's the fence. The fence just popped up. So where would you expect the spectators to go here on a road that is totally shut down? Amanda, are you active in chat? You're going to have to pick the winner. We're going to follow somebody and see if they win. You're going to have to pick from the head of the pack, so get ready. What free update? It's not good. It's not good. It's 3 broken things, effectively, if you're on console. It's fences that you can't remove without a mouse. It's 2 billboards. I guess they're the least broken thing. And then the employment info view, which constantly reports 0 available jobs regardless of the category and stats of the city. It's totally broken. It's one of the 3 basic features that they released, and it doesn't work. So, okay, purple jersey. I like how purple jersey came out of the corner here. Right here. This one. Who's this? Anna Chapman. Anna Chapman's going to do it. Are you ready? We're following Anna Chapman. Am I following Anna Chapman? Hold on. Here we go. Come on, Anna Chapman. That green shirt's coming. Yes, Anna Chapman. Let's go. Come on, Anna Chapman. Come on, Anna Chapman. Go to the distance. Notice that they changed lanes too. Sorry, I didn't mean. You got to run faster, Anna. There's a right turn coming up. They change lanes like cars do. Do you see them just like bopping all over the place lane-wise? Trying to pass each other? I'm going to go left. I'm going to go right. Anna Chapman was doing so good. She's going to get burned by the fact that she's on the inside here. And she's got to get over to the right, and people are catching her. She's burning out. She's burning out. Come on, Anna! Come on, Anna! No! No, you fell apart at the end. You absolutely fell apart at the end. Her systems gave out. Oh, we breathe in the fresh air. imagine like you're just panting so deeply you're trying to breathe. You get all that smoke coming in. Okay, so it is now October. A month later, our roads are still shut down. And note again, like, this blue lane is for absolutely nothing during an event. People gather on the sidewalk. There is no traffic allowed in this area. So, like, literally that blue lane is for nothing. It is for absolutely nothing. Not to mention the fact that look at the road lod down the way. Like, look at that. Like, the blue just totally disappears. The white takes over. And it's just mush. I don't know what electrical problem we're having, but I think it's budget. I think we're just pushed. We're pushed too much. We have 25,000 more people, so I have to look if there was some residents over there. There must have been in those uniques. Must have an apartment, a tower of something going on over there. Thought they were all service and stuff. The blue area is safety better, at least in auto racing. Sure. But, okay, so there the fences are gone from the event, but notice these fences are still there. Those fences are still there. Like, this is a permanently cut off route as far as... Okay. I say that as it finally goes away. But it is almost end of October, so it goes up for like 2 solid months. For a race that took us like 2 minutes tops. So I don't know. I'm disappointed. The road looks absolutely atrocious. Like, look at that. It's just a broken texture. Like, that is not at all the WOD you should have. Like, you could have a grayish blue edge to the road. Like look how far away you have to go to lose like the lane arrows. And it's just like you lose all that color. Like, where is all that white coming from? Why is white the color that wins there? It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't look particularly good. So I'm not a fan of these roads in your city because it shuts down your traffic for like 2 months. The races aren't that exciting. The people don't step up to the fence to watch the foot race or bike race or parade. They stand back on the sidewalk. There's no put the fences at the sidewalk then, because that's where you don't want people to go, and they're going to walk up to the fence. Like, I don't know if they've never seen an event like this in person, but like, people are going to walk up to the edge of the fence. That's where you're telling them to stop, so they will stop there. They don't stop 12 feet behind it where they can't see over the fence. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So anyways, I'm not a terribly big fan of this DLC, the race day stuff. The roads are muddy. The events aren't particularly exciting. I don't know if they're great from a budget perspective, but we're doing fine at $1 billion in the bank. I got to go again and delete all that stuff over there. But what do we got? We got foot races. We got bike races. I could do a street race through my city, but I'm not like particularly interested in that. And I don't care about setting up a racetrack off to the side of the map. So this one, I think, is a burner for me. And unfortunately, it is the reasoning. I firmly believe it's the reasoning why the UI is so broken. Because it looks an awful lot, again, like they built this new UI. This is the new menu system. The menu system has drop downs and deletes and sliders, and anywhere else that's referencing a menu system, it's like it's looking for those kind of controls and those references, and they're just not there in the other sliders. So they're either gonna have to update the description of those, like in the code, to recognize that they are also, you know, a similarly functioning menu, or they're gonna have to rewrite every menu to adhere to that new standard. Hopefully there's a quick way around it. But again, it's something that you don't notice is a problem if you're playing with a keyboard and mouse on console. If you're playing with a controller, it is instantly obvious that it is broken. And in this case, it is instantly obvious that they did not test it with a controller, which I think is a major miss and shows, I think, a lot what they think of the console community in general. It's an afterthought at best.
16 times the detail.
One U roads without sidewalks. Yeah, so what did we get? We got, where the heck are they? They're right here. So we have cobblestone alleys now. So when, like, let's say you have businesses on this road, if they can't get service, you can run on the backside, you know, cobblestone roads like this. They are 2-lane, no parking, super narrow. However, you may notice they do not support zoning. So you would have to put them, you know, on the backside. Let me actually snap it to the zoning. So you'd have to do something like this, where these buildings become accessible. Like if a truck can get here, then it can get a delivery, or a person in or out of a residence, whatever it might be. But these roads don't support zoning themselves. So I'm definitely going to use these in my new Boston build, because there are public back alleys, especially in the back bay, that are exactly this function. They're a really narrow alley. Basically, garbage trucks use them. Or if you're parking your car, if you happen to, which you might very well have if you live on Com Ave, you probably got a little money to spare. Or you're buried in a mortgage that you can't afford because you live on Com Ave. I don't know. It's 50-50. Yeah, why couldn't we get all the like a cobblestone alley with zoning? That would be beautiful, right? But when you come into this and you go into the road tool, like the zoning doesn't even exist. I feel like that's such an easy win, is to just put zoning on this road. If a truck can drive next to it and support a zone thing, just zone the road. If you want to default to it off because that's not its purpose, that's fine. But like, it's a win-win if you give people an extra zonable road. Like, that would be very cool to leverage in the main game. But alas, no. What do we have? So we have the 2-way event road, the 1-way event roads, and then you have a race HQ, which is different from like the event HQ. You've got pit lane entries, motor racetrack with a single curb or a double curb. And then again, you have to build the race HQ for the motor racetrack. So you could have your races take over your city streets, so you could have your own race. I don't think I am going to leverage that at all, except to use the cobblestone alley, basically. That's what did I pay? I paid like $12 for a cobblestone alley. Great question. What happens to zoning if you replace the road with cobblestone? So what did I see? Like the building, so the building will, if it's zonable, it will break. If it's ploppable, then it will still function normally. So for example, the skyscrapers, I was talking about this earlier with Flybox. The skyscrapers, totally fine. Like, it's a unique building, you're plopping it down, it functions. It can get delivery, it can get service, it can be supported like any other building. But if you were to like upgrade or downgrade a road, the zoning no longer exists there. So any zonable building would disappear, usually immediately, sometimes over time. But definitely don't expect it on staying if there isn't actual zoning tied to it. Mixed use would be awesome. They want you to buy 2 for that. I think they should just introduce that. I mean, and effectively, like, you're getting a little bit of that in the new... There's got to be some residents over here. I got to figure that out. Where are the people living over here? Like, it sounds like people would be living in these. That's an office. That's an office. Social residence. Did that remove a bunch of people? I don't know where all these people are. They did something, though. We're going to have to, you know what? I'm going to leave these and lose some money because we got over $1 billion in the bank. Maybe it is the case that they broke something and the balance is just off now. That very well could be the case because they apparently don't understand. They don't understand the job. Available jobs 00000. This is our new info view. This is what we needed. like a literal broken graph. Fantastic work. Don't have any crashes so far. I've been playing without any DLC. There you go. That's the way to go. I definitely saw some people having crashes on PC, both modded and unmodded in testing. Certain maps seem to be crashing for some people. 12% unemployment prior. Yeah, that's the other thing. So like, where is it up here? It's down to 3% now. So they are finding jobs if you believe those stats, but also there are 0 jobs, but there's a ton of residential demand. Like, that doesn't make sense with the way city zoning worked. At the end of the stream yesterday, I had no residential demand and a lot of office and a little bit of commercial. And now that has flip-flopped. So all these people magically found jobs that didn't exist because I needed to build a bunch of zoning. And now all of a sudden, everybody wants to move into the city, even though there's no available jobs. That doesn't make any sense. What are the commercial and industrial and office vacancies, by the way? Like, and how come the unemployment is 10% here? So like, if you look overall, I guess it's 2.9% overall. My well-educated are unemployed, but those are the ones that are still in college, I think, right? It's just the people that haven't gone to college yet, because we're forcing everybody to college. Either way, it's all messed up and it is all different. And I kind of like need to delete all this stuff and let my city settle again. My city was doing fantastic. I literally could not touch it for like a week straight, and it would just sit there making money slowly but surely. Everything was automatic. And now it seems that the balance is totally thrown off, and I may have to completely reevaluate the entire economy of the system. I just can't go in to modify any of the park pricing or academic works or industrial production because all of it is broken, unless I want to plug in a mouse, and then you're fine. So, how is everybody doing out there? 123. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. If you are new here, I do play cities quite a bit, mostly console, mostly remastered on the Xbox, but there has been some PC building from time to time. I play a lot of other games too. I don't make as many videos as I used to, but if live streams are your thing, I do a lot of different games, and usually 9 p.m. Eastern a lot of nights. No specific schedule. This is not my day job. But I hope you are well. Consider subscribing, leave a like if you're enjoying, and let me know in the comments, or in the chat rather, what you're playing on. What are your thoughts so far? Did you get the DLC? Did you not? I'm interested to know where people are at with this. I hope none of this garbage invalidates or breaks save games. So I don't think that it would. But I do think, like, this city, like, again, I literally would leave it running during my workday. It was a screensaver in my office. I just left it playing at 3 times speed, earning its way up to $1 billion. The budget goes up and down, sure, but it was consistently making money. I've got, like, all, recycling and crematoriums, so you don't have to empty anything. And the city just worked. I wish I had taught it just works right there.
16 times the detail.
That'll have to do. But we'll see, like, 'cause I don't think that's the case anymore. I think the budget is way off now. I think the balance is way off, and we're going to have to completely redesign some neighborhoods, and we're going to have to do it with a broken unemployment view, which is one of the whole points. Like, when there's literally 3 things on your list. Fences on roads doesn't work if you have a controller. Not the way that it should. You can't remove without deleting the road and redrawing the road. That's stupid. Works fine if you have a mouse. They have 2 billboards that they added to the game, and then that info view. The fences are effectively broken on console if you're a controller player. The info view is broken on console. So we got 2 billboards, basically. That was the free update. The free update that broke all the other sliders and things you may have paid for, and some of the things that you didn't over the years. It is all broken right now. So for first official DLC that they're helming out of the gate, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I'm not particularly impressed, Tantalus. But I said it earlier, I'll say it again. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm surprised that I am as surprised as I am. I should be expecting this kind of disappointment. Also, I mean, as a Red Sox fan, I am very used to disappointment, still being a fan of the franchise. We went 86 years without a World Series. Like, my childhood was disappointment every September. They're doing awesome. Is this going to be the year? No. No, it's not going to be the year. Next year's not going to be the year either, or the year after that. Prepare to be disappointed almost into your 30s, kid. Wait, where are the billboards? The billboards are... I forget that you have to push the back button to get out of that now. Props. So go into leisure and go into your props tab, and there are a large elevated billboards and large billboards. So shouldn't it just be like at that point, elevated billboard. If there's only one size, it's not large. It is the size. It can't be large because it's just the reference point at that point. Like, this is the large billboard. What's the small one look like? Same size. But anyways, we've got some new billboards. I don't know how many variations there are in the actual artwork on them. It looks like they light up individually. So 2. 3. We got 3 billboards. 4. 5. Okay. How do you change a variation? There's a 6th. A 7th. So there's a couple billboards. And then if you want, you can also do the tall ones. Same exact signs. Nothing particularly too exciting. I'm sure you could probably customize or change those on PC. But those are the billboards. Those are the things that work best from the free update. Again, the other thing that you got was a broken info view that tells you there's 0 available jobs no matter what. And then, yeah, the fences. Fences on roads. So this is the kicker, right? Like, and it's literally the first thing I thought of when I heard the tutorial. I think Egg mentioned it, and I believe Toady mentioned it in the release video today, both on the official Cities channel. And here I am as a console player thinking in controller. Very much what I had to do when I started doing Cities content was like, I couldn't find a good tutorial for console, so I had to translate everything in my head. I'm watching Imperial Jedi, but I'm like, okay, what's the controller button for that? And I decided to make videos, and it caught on because there were other people wondering the same thing. So here I am watching Egg and Toady and thinking to myself, okay, so we select the fence that we want, and then we go to the side of the road, and then we press left click, which for us is confirm. It's technically the A button or the X button if you're on PlayStation. And Nintendo insists on changing the names of them and reconfiguring. I'm not going to play that game, especially since they stopped getting updates like 4 years ago. So then they're like, oh, right click to remove the fence. We don't have a right click. It just goes straight to the bulldozer tool. So you have to delete the road to get rid of the fence, which half the appeal of this is like, hey, I've got this crazy curvy road, and I didn't want to, build an 18,000 node fence going, around these curves. Now you could just say like, no, I want a crazy fence going around these curves. But if you put the, let's say like, oh, I didn't mean to put it on that side, I meant to put it on the other side. Delete the road. Or get a mouse. Get a mouse and keyboard, because that's how they play the game. That's how they test the game. They don't expect you to play it with a controller. Because console is such an afterthought, and it gets just more and more obvious every time they push one of these. Sorry, I'm deleting all these. I did show these earlier in the stream. I removed them all to save my budget again so that we can continue being billionaires. And then my game crashed. So I'm going to try and delete all these. Can we? No. It won't let me hold delete for those? Okay. All those little green bushes that I put up overlapping. Come on now. There's oh my god, there's so much stuff, and it asks for confirmation on all these. These are all the new modern renewed that you're seeing very quick succession get deleted. The if you only get one of the packs, I'm a particular fan of the iconic brutalist stuff. It's definitely going to fit in my new Boston build. I mean, I've got both now. I've also got Race Day, which I think the only thing... Oh, I wish I'd zoomed in on that so you could have seen it. The park was sitting like with a big mound of dirt coming out of it. I'm pretty sure the only thing I'm going to use from that Race Day pack, what is it? I spent $12 on a cobblestone road that is purely going to be used for decoration in like one town. So that's fun. This is the brutalist stuff though. The brutalist stuff is pretty cool. Again, definitely something I would do in my Boston build. Where is the...
All new rendering, lighting, and landscape technology. It allows us to have 16 times the detail.
Whatever, game. So... it let me delete all the buildings last time. But then I didn't save it immediately after that. But again, like, it's so frustrating because River Run is a city I've been building on stream for like, I don't know, on and off for 6 months, something like that. It was longer than I thought. But it has been very stable. Like it had its ups and downs financially, but I got it to a point and it was like 400 million. And then it became my screensaver in my office. I just let it run like 8 hours a day. And then at one point I wanted to get to 1 billion faster. So I like turned the power saving off and just let it run 24 hours a day, literally, until it got up to 1 billion. I did the 1 billion on stream. The game was stable. My city was stable. Now it is all out of balance. Now it is crashing. Now half of the menu systems are not available to me unless I plug in a mouse. This is a pretty sad state of affairs. And here's the thing, right? Like, what did Paradox do to this franchise in the last couple years? Because Colossal Order is out, and in the first 3 months, the next quarter, basically, you've got Tantalus pushing out their own DLC, because God forbid you go a quarter without profits. God forbid you like take artistic integrity and do something right and actually push something functional out the door. But no, gotta rush and throw this stuff out the door, and it works for some people, so that's good enough. I'm buying them at this point. I think half expecting deep down, like, it's going to be terrible, and I'm going to warn one person. If I save one person the money, it's worth it. Because, like, I have a lot of games, and I'm lucky. But I know some people, like, don't, they have to really decide what's worth spending their money on. And Cities is not worth spending a lot of money on nowadays. Which is weird, because somebody asked in the chat just the other day, like, hey, I don't have Remastered. Is it worth the $30 they're asking for in the store right now? And I said, you know what? If you're still playing Cities in 2026, yeah, 100% it's worth it. You will like that. That will be a good $30 spent. And if that person has not bought the game yet, I would like to retract my former statement. Because this game is not worth $30 today. I very comfortably gave a yes the other day. Again, that if you're still playing it and you're on console in 2020, son of a... then that is probably a worthwhile investment. Dropper, curved. Good enough. Okay. All right. So, okay, I'm not even going to play it. I'm going to save my game once. It's like CS was made by Bethesda. I hate 9-tile builds, always remastered. I get that. But like somebody didn't have it, and I almost feel bad for saying, because like three days ago, $30, sure, absolutely, go for it. You'll have fun. You'll enjoy it. It'll be better. You can build bigger cities. You can do all sorts of stuff. This update immediately coming on its tails.
And even view distant weather systems across the map.
Like, it's just an instant devaluation of the product, of the brand. So yeah, so what has Paradox done? How have they stewarded this franchise? They squeezed Colossal Order to do the thing they were contractually obligated to do. We got to find out what's up with that traffic. They were contractually obligated to do. They got Ultimate out the door and then immediately announced, like, hey, we're getting rid of Colossal Order. They did what they needed to do. We're done. We're moving on to the next thing. Tantalus is taking over 1, and I mean, technically they'd already been working on it, and Ice Flake is taking over 2. They don't miss a quarter. They didn't step back and take artistic integrity and say, hey, really get your feet under you and do the next thing right. No, they said, we need profits in March. March is the first quarter. We are financially driven. And I've said it before, if you don't know, Paradox is a publicly traded company. You can read a very detailed financial analysis that they supply every year that explains how they make money, how they made it last year, last quarter, and how they plan to make money in the future. And they plan to make money by continuing to monetize their key brands. Top of the list is City Skylines. The most played is City Skylines 1. City Skylines 2 is the thing that they want to go forward, but they're obviously still putting time and effort because they think they can make money off of City Skylines 1. And there may be some people that are totally happy with this release today. They have a keyboard and mouse, I guarantee, and they're not playing on console. Because if this is acceptable to you, I'm sorry that you have such a low bar. Like, this is not okay to charge money for. This is not okay to break a product that was working yesterday with this nonsense, with this ineptitude. It's really unfortunate. Should I buy a new DLC or bundle or just move to the second game? Honestly, I think both of those are bad options, unfortunately, Handle. Like, for real, I feel like those are bad options, both. I would wait. The new DLC, like the content creator packs, yes. I am definitely not a fan of the race day stuff. The race day stuff is poorly implemented. It shuts down your roads for 2 months for a race that should last an afternoon. It doesn't work with the simulation time scale. It just doesn't make any sense. The new content creator packs I love. And if you're on console, it is how you add new content. We don't have assets. We don't have a Steam workshop. I think the content creator packs are a good way to do this. Yeah, 2 in-game months. So I set an event for September 15th. It puts the roadblocks up immediately, and like, so that the month leading up to the event, and then the event takes, it was like a mile-long race down a strip of road. It takes like a week in game, and then it's another month at the end stage before they break down the race. So like your traffic goes crazy. Your traffic, I had a light area of traffic, but you're shutting down the road for like a month and a half, 2 months at least, for what could be a very short bike race or foot race. And it complicates that and gets even longer if you have a long marathon snaking all the way around your city. So it's something where, like, the way that they do it doesn't work in the time scale of what's happening in the city. Because, like, I mean, look at man, I keep hitting B to exit, and that does not exit cinematic camera anymore. So, like, look at our time scale right now. Like, let's say it's the 14th today in the bottom left. Our race starts on the 15th. Technically, the event kicks off in the system's UI, but like the people don't appear till like the 17th or 18th. And then the race kicks off on like the 21st. And then it's a 2-minute run, but like how many days pass, like weeks pass in 2 minutes at this simulation speed. So like it's shutting down a big part of your city. It also, like, I don't know if I showed this, I probably didn't. Like, look at the roads and the LOD. Like, it's just like, that's what the road should look like. And if you look at it in any kind of a distance, it's just got this completely washed out white. It looks like trash. It looks awful. Also, the blue lanes don't get used by anything during the event. Like, the fences come up, and you'd think that's where people would stand for bike races and events, but they stand way back on the sidewalk. It just doesn't make any sense. Something like this doesn't work in this time scale. If they hadn't stressed so much of like, oh, it's really going to screw up your traffic, it's really going to affect your business deliveries, having a marathon run through your city. You know a great way to avoid that? Don't buy this stupid DLC. Because it is not implemented well. And I think the novelty of that would wear off real quick. How many parades are you going to watch? And like, look, I don't mean to get judgy. Like, I'm open about being autistic. Like, trains aren't my thing. I know, like, some people, some are into it. Hassan loves trains. Like, you know, it depends on, you know, what kind of interests you may dive into. But like, this is not something that I think I would find entertaining. Like, would it be kind of cool to see a marathon run through my city once? Yes. Do I want to see these washed out white roads and the town to be blocked for 6 months for a marathon in my city? No, I don't care about it enough. You know what? Like, cause this is what, like, once the city is done and in a good spot, this is what I do with it right here. This is how I play cities now. Once the build is done. Cinematic camera. By the way, cinematic camera is not included in CS2. Another point in the loss column there. So I don't know, Handle, if you're still here, like, I honestly don't know. It's tough to recommend either at this point. I like CS1 on console especially. CS2, I will tell you, like, the Steam counter on my account has been running since 2021 on that game when I first got access to the alpha. I've worked with devs that had like completely separate alphas that aren't the same like namespace in Steam, and they disappear. This has been the same namespace. Like, the project that was CS2 is still CS2. They just renamed it. And I have, I think, just over 66 hours on CS2 since 2021. I have never enjoyed it. I don't think it is a good game, and especially I don't think it's a good game without mods, which are broken today. Hopefully a little bit better on the CS2 front, but like, anytime there's an update, it breaks a lot of mods and it breaks save games, and like, you have to be really careful around those things. So it did all the same. CS2 did all the same things, but I think it does it in a worse performing package. There's less mods and assets and support for it over the years, and I think the better value is still CS1. I think CS2 looks really cool, but it also requires a beefy PC to do it. And I don't enjoy how it performs with a 5080 and a 9800 X3D. So I don't know if that tells you anything about the rig you're running on, but like, I wish it performed better. And I'm not going to upgrade my PC more than that. I am not going to spend $4,000 on a video card to play CS2.
And even view distant weather systems across the map.
CS1 is more fun, and that for me is a big part of it. Like, I have fun playing CS2. I enjoy the simulation, the pace of the milestones. And all that goes out the window in CS2. It just feels like a slog. It is slow. It is boring. There wasn't like snow you couldn't avoid, but it also didn't fall on half the property in the game. You know, it took a new dev coming in to understand how snow falls on the ground. And then like, your grass might actually get covered. Meanwhile, they got cars driving around that are just covered in snow that you can't see the glass. Like, aha, you're a New England driver. You cleaned out a 6-inch square for your vision in the front windshield, and side windows and rear view be damned. I've seen a lot of that. Yeah. Snow-covered windshields while you drive. Console requires smart network planning, one-way roads in lieu of lack of road. Yeah, exactly. There's more of a science to it. And I've talked about that on streams before. Like, I don't know where my traffic is at because I did mess it up a lot with all the uniques and all that stuff. But we were at like 86 to 89% traffic with 125,000 population, and there's no mods. It is just that planning. I don't even have a lot of transport, honestly. Transport's kind of a joke and a decoration in this city. Like, we got the buses that run through the schools that are turned off and the residential neighborhoods. Like, there's not a lot of use to taking the buses. But they're there moving people around because they look the part. Huge bugs on PS5 in the new update. I am not surprised. I bet a lot of them are drop downs and sliders, and I'm pretty sure I figured it out, at least, because there is a completely new UI, D-pad up and down, left and right, sliders, delete button, drop downs in the race events. And I'm pretty sure what they did is they basically overwrote menu functionality so that menus are this new menu that they invented in race day, but it is ignoring the D-pad's ability to get to those other menus. So if you're having problems and you have a mouse, you can solve a lot of the bugs on consoles right now if you can plug a mouse in. Build a racetrack in drive mode with race cars. God, I can't imagine how bad that would be. That would be bad, bad, bad. Co-op would be cool. Traffic management options would be nice. It's lower on the list of things that I want for this game. I'd like better road tools. Like, I will say, CS2, like drawing a highway on-ramp and making it look slick and deciding how it folds into your existing lanes, night and day difference. Like, vanilla CS2 feels like modded CS1 in that regard. It's maybe not perfect, and I know people that play with mods are going to say like, oh no, I can do way better, but like, it is such a night and day difference. Just bring those road tools here. You don't stop all the work on CS2. Do not waste time putting that horribly unoptimized game that needs mods onto a platform that can't support mods and is probably already stretched from an optimization perspective. It's a lose-lose scenario, and they could be investing time in making this game better. Instead, what they are doing is bolting on DLCs and breaking the core functionality of the game. That's what we need in 2026. I really do miss, and I know some of you were here for it, I really miss the city's Skylines community pre-CS2 announcement. It has just been such a disappointing, slow descent into further disappointment since then. The expectations around 2, the community divide about which one is better and is it good or is it bad.
And even view distant weather systems across the map.
In case anybody hasn't figured out why they keep hearing Todd Howard, it's anytime we get to the edge of map fog on the cinematic cameras. He gets really excited about those distant weather systems. Console is Move It and Traffic Manager. Move It functionality would be cool, and I know that they could implement something like that. It doesn't have to be the full bore Move It, but like, let us move buildings around a little bit and get flexible with how close they are to the actual road. You know, let us... Again, new road tools would solve a lot of your Move It problems when it comes to moving lane. Like, there's 2 things people do. They move buildings or they move roads. And when the roads snap together better, you don't have as much need for Move It. Because the roads look good, and then the buildings would hopefully snap in the correct place, but they also like really broke zoning. Community used to be 5 times more active with a lot of inspiration for building. Yeah, and now it is torn across different games and people that are trolling, people that are negative, people that are overly positive. Like, I have been a vocal proponent for the community, but an opponent of the city's to general design and structure and how they've handled everything. And it cost me a relationship with the publisher and the developer. I don't think I said anything particularly malicious, but I did a video called Potato Mode, and it was one of the few critical videos when CS2 came out. Most of the creators were under the impression like, oh, the Day Zero patch will fix everything. Like, if you think that a Day Zero patch is going to fix all these things that were broken with the game at release, and all the disappointment that 2 years later got the devs fired, they thought like all those things were going to be fixed in a Day Zero patch. You're a buffoon if you thought that. If you thought the Day Zero patch was going to fix it. And I'm sorry, like, I don't mean to say that you, the consumer, the end user, like, you didn't see the product that we saw before release. We were allowed to do 3 videos, like small town limitations, like, I'm sure you could easily guess like why they wanted to put those arbitrary limitations on the size of the build people would see when they then ship a game 2 weeks later that performs horribly as soon as you get to like 10,000 population. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that math. They didn't want people to see that ahead of the release. But the day before the embargo dropped, you know, I got Potato Mode ready to go to like show people like, hey, don't get too excited unless you are running something that is above recommended specs. By the way, not talking Steam, we're not talking Cities players, we're talking all of Steam hardware survey. Only 7% of Steam had a compliant system to run recommended specs at release. And I think people heard that stat in my video and were like, oh, I'm probably in the 7% of Steam players, of Cities players that has a good rig. No, not 7% of Cities players, 7% of all of Steam. Every elitist PC Master Race douchebag that spent $6,000 on a water-cooled rig, like that's who you're competing against in that statistical analysis. Like, people didn't have good rigs to run that game out of the box. It performed like trash, but it didn't have a fun game behind it. That's the thing that really sunk it. Is it wasn't fun. And it started out like 29% positive. It got up to 52 and it stayed there forever. And it's still there, right? In better news, Yankees won 4-2. I mean, I don't know. That's not particularly good news for me, but I don't know. Congratulations. We got smoked by the Tigers. And my console keeps crashing at Boomtown. Yeah, no. I just want the game to work at this point. Like, new stuff, new fun toys is great. But when you're into the game and you can't play the game, or the update makes you want to play the game less, that is a remarkable talent. It's like I manage a team now. I was a sales engineer for a very long time, and it just makes me think, like, imagine like going into a demo and convincing somebody that they should buy the product, and then you just keep demoing and just exposing further and further bugs, and then they're like, actually, you know what? No, I'm good. No, thank you. That's kind of where I'm at with this game. Like, the more they show me what they want to do with it, the less I want to play it, the less excited I am for it. Because it very much is a quarterly profit motive, and it's very obvious based on the timing of these 2 DLCs coming out that they're not worried about repairing the brand damage of CS2 or giving Tantalus time to do something meaningful with their first update when they are pushing it out in this broken of a state, when they are not asking for feedback from the community. Like, they would be an infinitely better position and a better company if they did this as early access. There is early access on Xbox. I forget what they call it, game preview. There is early access on Steam and on Epic and all these platforms that they release on. They could solve so many of their problems just by calling it early access. And then people would take their time with it. I mean, they're still playing this game 10 years later. Like, I do know what the rush is. It is shareholder profit and financial capitalism. It is what capitalism does to artistic integrity. It throws it out the window and it makes it based on profit. And that can work in a tech stack. It doesn't work great when it's supposed to be artistry and fun. You generally can't speed those things, or we've seen what happens when you try and speed those things. It doesn't end well. I hope we get a patch soon, but it does have to go through a certification process, so it'll probably be a few days. But yeah, a patch for the patch, like just get it right. They can't be doing any kind of meaningful testing if they didn't realize that controller was broken on console. That seems like a pretty hefty oversight to me. It's just wild that, like, that, you know, again, we probably shouldn't be as surprised as some of us are at this point. So yeah, hopefully they make a patch to fix the patch. They made a mistake taking away your keys. They should have told you positive videos or you're out. And to be clear, they were like, because there was some chatter, but I like go back to release day, embargo lifting like 3 days before, you know, the embargo was about to lift, and they came out with their statement like, oh yeah, the game's broken and we're pushing it out anyways. It didn't meet our expectations. So that you heard it from them first, so that when you go in and you hear, oh, console guy complaining about minimum specs, he's an idiot. What does he know? That was a really fun video though. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that one. But there are things that I would have done to illustrate the point a little bit differently, and I didn't call out clearly enough that 7% of Steam players could run recommended. Not Cities players, but all of Steam. Everybody who's got an FPS rig, you know, bought something special for competitive gameplay, you know, everybody, that entire pool, 7% of Steam players had something that would run the game at recommended specs. Everybody else was running, you know, minimum specs effectively, and it was rough. And that was what that video was about to show. It's like, hey, there's plenty of you running this configuration and they're telling you it's okay. I don't think it's okay. Here's what it looks like and here's how it performs. And then the game came out and they're like, hey, we're closing the Discord that we've had open for 4 or 5 years that all the creators have been in, and we're going to create a new Discord every time there's a new DLC to promote. I don't know if that was a way to, like, you know, rip the rug out and get rid of some of the undesirables like myself. Maybe it was. But either way, like, that was the last time that I had access, was at release. And ever since then, I've been buying everything myself. But I think it's always been important to me to be honest and open about like what the actual experience is, because I know other people aren't getting it for free, and there's a ton of DLC and a ton of cost and investment behind this series. And I am not going to stand up here and pretend that it is good. It's really unfortunate. I think some creators were stuck in a tough spot. Like, if it's their livelihood, you kind of have to smile and take it on the chin and hope that they fix it. Otherwise, your brand tanks. Like, remember, like, what happened to viewership and interest in Cities? Like, it dried up for a lot of creators. And then you had creators like going to play Timberborn and going to do other things, or really leaning into, you know, memberships and Patreon and things like that to try and sustain. So I feel bad for some of the creators, but at the same time, like, I don't know. Again, I'm sure I would have a different thought process if, like, putting food on my dinner table for my daughter was dependent on me making Cities videos. But I'm glad I never got to that point, because, like, I can do my job and have integrity and call this out for what this is, which for the last 3 years now, a pretty shameless cash grab that is not giving us a lot of reasons to be positive about it, other than the nostalgia it built up the 7 years prior. They released Remastered. It was broken. They did it in a rush to get it out before CS2. CS2 came out and it was broken and rushed. And they said, hey, it's not ready, but we're shipping it anyways. And then they pushed out the first DLC. And again, after pushing out a rush title that wasn't ready, the first DLC, they said it was rushed and wasn't ready, and they pushed it out anyways. And do you remember Beach Properties? The worst rated DLC of all time. So they built it into the game so they could hide it and sweep it under the rug, literally. It doesn't exist anymore. Meanwhile, it's still wait, hold on. Hold on. YouTube Cities official. Did they still have the beach properties video? Certainly not, right? No! They still have the beach properties video on their freaking channel. Worst DLC rating of all time. They took it off of Steam to basically hide it and bury it in the game files. And whoever runs their YouTube channel has never hidden the videos. The Beach Properties Asset Pack official announcement teasers for City Skylines 2. Beach Properties Asset Pack official release trailer City Skylines 2. Early insight shorts on the beach properties. Like, you literally delete, like, you can't buy it. What are you promoting with this video? Set it to private or delete it. Like, are you getting ad revenue off of this? No, like, what? They're so disjointed and they don't even know what the other hand is doing. And part of that problem is, you know, the executive staff forcing games out the door before they're ready. Teams not talking. It's amazing. It's amazing that those videos are still up on their YouTube channel. That is wild. That is wild to me. I'm surprised. You know what? I'm surprised that they deleted or took down the Cities in the Sky at this point. We should be able, I think, to go back on their channel and watch people drawing Franks and beans and spilling out the word balls 50 meters over Berlin. Because they paid out the butt for that event. So, like, we should still be able to enjoy that. Maddie literally risking her life untethering at 50 meters above the ground over a highway to, like, fix somebody's loose cable on their video card. Like, no. They're drawing Frank and beans in roads, and you're risking your life for this. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Such a bad event. Such a bad event. Oh my God. That thing blew up so bad in their faces. Is it worse than Horse Armor? I think they could compete. I think, you know, there is a documentary in this when it all falls apart. Like, I think we need to do something interesting telling the story of it so far. Like, there's so much to it. The poop volcanoes, of course. But, like, I suspect that I don't think the franchise has that long. I don't know. There are people, obviously, that, you know, again, are going to fanboy for this series, but let's see where the player count is at. Stevie Cities. So the original Cities has, at least on Steam, 11,700 in-game. And Cities 2 has 6,400 in game. So, like, your mainline franchise is screwed. The people are not where you want them to be. And you've given Tantalus, I would like to know how things are working out on the PC side. Like, I know the problem there is that, like, all your mods are broken. We don't have mods. They broke the game just fine on their own. They don't need mods to break the game. They break it great on their own. My game is so buggy. Oh my God. I want to buy the rights to this game and give it the love it deserves, right? If they have, like, you know, the $1 billion Powerballs, I'd make an offer. Try and do something, turn it around. I think the first thing that I would do is a subscription service to keep the money flowing back into my bank account. And not to access DLC, to be able to play the game. You have to, it's like property taxes. You gotta connect every 30 days, otherwise we don't know if you have an active license for the game. No more DLC, correct. No more DLC, exactly. No more DLC. Just paid access per month. Have all the DLC you want. Comes with it. We just need a credit card, a recurring credit card we can bill. They got the subscription thing for like a monthly fee. Yeah. Do that math and add it up and see how quickly that pays for itself. You'd be better off taking a predatory loan and potentially losing your car or your house and be able to pay it off sooner. I mean, technically, you're not paying anything off, right? You're just renting it from them. Versus, like, if you just took a bad rate on a credit card, bought all the DLC, and paid it off slowly over 12 months. I mean, as long as you're making the payments, like, you could theoretically be building your credit. It's that simple. Just make on-time payments. You could do it by buying all. This is not financial advice. Somebody's out there like jotting down notes on a post-it like, build my credit. Mouse says get a card with a high interest rate. No, don't do that. We have the park cheese. They have the DLC and season pass cheese. Yeah. Never go for the subscription. That's how they get you. It's like the free breadsticks at the Olive Garden. It's where you get the norovirus from. Mouse says I can get an 800 score by ... Yeah. If you want the real advice on how to build credit score, I'm going to need a couple things. Mailing address for the info packet and social security number. And that'll probably be enough, honestly. Fix that credit score real quick. Yeah, so it's been an unfortunate release day, I would say. There's my sewage treatment at the bottom of the river. I'm going to do some stabilization of the city and see, like, what is up with the residential being flip-flopped? Why does everybody want to move in now? It does not make a lot of sense. But we are at 11:15. I wonder... Let's see real quick. Where is our pop? So, like, look, after deleting... Jeez, I wonder if they changed something in the game code. Literally, I have been sitting over here for 300 to 400 in-game years watching the money build up to $1 billion. Free update, DLC. This is, like, I did not do this. This city was working fine. I have no cheats on. I have $1 billion in the bank. I know what I'm doing, especially in this city at this point. It did take some reconfiguration at some point, but this is totally broken and just not working right. Why do I want to play this? I don't want to play this game right now. Statistics. Population changes. So we've seen a big population dip. City treasury making money. City budget. Like, all these things are fine. Death rate. The death rate's not even that. Like, what is going on that crematoriums are not picking up bodies? Like, did we have something... Did someone with budget get thrown off? No. So I guess we have to go to at least 150 budget on... No, you know, I don't even care. I'll be back to cities in a couple weeks when this shit's working again. Because that what am I going to fix? What am I going to do? What am I going to adjust there? We had 30,000 people disappear since the last crash, but mind you, we did not have a death wave when I reloaded the save. This is all a crash that has happened while I'm letting the cinematics run. We crashed on stream like 20 minutes ago. It's a perfectly working game. Don't ask any questions. Can we charge money for it in Q1? Yes. Ship it. Well, hopefully some of you got an idea, if you haven't paid for the DLC yet, what the DLC is about. I actually do enjoy...
An even view, distant weather systems across the map.
I do enjoy the content creator packs. I think they are some good work, especially the iconic Brutalist. Really, really good. That's my favorite of the bunch. I think race day is a big waste of time. I think I'm getting all kinds of freezes and hitches. I have a bunch of abandoned houses there from all the death, most likely. They got so sick of having dead bodies that they literally moved away. That's awesome. There's a hearse right now. There's our theme for tonight. The game is so broken. It's so broken. I just joined. Can I get a summary of events? Honestly, it has gotten worse the longer I've played it. And the population is all out of balance. Employment is all out of balance. I've had a death wave in a city that has been stable for 300 years without death waves. Like, I'm playing this game without cheats. I have $1 billion in the bank. I literally, like, this is my screensaver at work. I put it right here on 3 times speed and I let it run for a literal month in real life. Every single day I'm in my office, I'm doing work, and 90 degrees to my left, my TV's over there, just like a screensaver, letting the city play, and it built up. It took a long time. Like, $1 billion didn't happen overnight. But like the city was solid. Like I didn't have to do a thing. There's recycling plants so you don't have to empty them. I switched over all the cemeteries to crematoriums. All of a sudden this update comes out. My population balance is off. What is the main thing that you get? You get, a new info view that's hiding behind me, but it always says that there are no available jobs, even though we've lost 30,000 people to this death wave since my second crash tonight. So the game has been crashing. It is broken in so many ways on console unless you are using a mouse, and then some of those complaints are not a problem at all because the mouse can still activate those menus and sliders. This is, I think, the worst single update we have had. This is the worst shape Remastered has been in since release day, hands down. Absolutely, without a doubt.
And even view distant weather systems across the map.
This is absolutely the worst this game has been since it came out. Which is so disheartening because this is the first time they gave the keys to Tantalus. Tantalus? It is, they are taunting us. Tantalus to basically do their own thing. Here, make a DLC. And what did they do? They took a game that was working okay and made it objectively absolutely times over worse than it was just 24 hours ago. A switch, literally flipped the switch and made the game broken, less fun to play. They gave us an info view that doesn't work. They broke the balance of employment and residential balance. There's something happening with death waves where my traffic and everything was handling it just fine. Like, look at all those empty lots where houses used to be. What the actual hell, game? So I am probably not going to play this anytime soon until they have meaningful change in the updates, which is sad. So tune back in. I'm going to be playing more Hogwarts Legacy, which I only played for the first time the other night. I'm going to go back and do one more Dispatch playthrough if people are interested. I want to get all the achievements in that. I still haven't done like the loner ending. But this game is so broken. Like, I don't want to mess up River Run any further. I don't want to mess up New Boston. I want to see what they fix. Because, like, I can't even build the city that I want if I can't change sliders and vehicles and variations on buildings, like, and I kick back with a controller. I do when I'm playing Remastered, at least. And it is very, very broken for console players. It's so disappointing, again, that Tantalus, the studio that initially got into this because they were doing the console ports, just broke a console port so bad. Because, again, it was fun to play yesterday. It is absolutely infuriating on so many levels today to play this game. And it doesn't matter the DLC. This is going to happen with just the free update. The game mechanics changed. Things are broken. And they need to be repaired and reconsidered. And somebody that works there needs to start thinking about controller players too. It's ridiculous that it is so obvious of an afterthought. It's like literally, it's getting offensive at this point. And like, how many times do I complain? How many times do I do a rant video on the state of cities too? Nobody's listening. The people that are listening are the people that know, like, hey, thanks for having a voice and sticking up for us. That's a pretty consistent comment that I do enjoy. But like, Are we getting any meaningful change? Are they hearing it? Are they making these same mistakes less? No, it's all the same thing. So they didn't come over for console. We talk about CS2, still anticipating it. I mean, that the thing for me with CS2 is CS2 was so bad they fired the devs, and now they gave it to somebody else. CS1, they gave it to Tantalus a while ago, but they fired the devs that made this game too. And like, honestly, if this is what we can expect for Tantalus updates, they should fire Tantalus. Just keep going through devs until you find one that kind of doesn't screw it up that bad. Right now, this is not the jam. It's a no from me, dog. But they said they're still going to get it to console. Here's the thing. Let's talk CS2 for a quick second, right? So, I don't think CS2 is fun to play without mods. Overcharge Egg would disagree with me. I've talked to him a bit about this. And he still has a vanilla build going. But I don't think it's fun to play without mods. And console is not getting mods. And like, literally, if you watch the city's video today on the city's official channel, they talk about things that are broken in the game, like not being able to unlock all, not really working the way that it should. But hey, mods can fix that for you. Official city's channel on release day. Fix it with mods, which are broken right now because we just updated the game. It's like, it's a snake eating itself. But like when the official channel is telling you the way to play the content on release day is to rely on mods. That's not good. And that's their CS1 content. So like that's their philosophy. I wouldn't get too excited about what they're going to bring down to the console that doesn't have mods to make it fun or playable or function, because the devs expect that because they're telling you to go use a mod to fix their game on release day. And meanwhile, what does a console player get if we get CS2? We don't get mods. Do you think we're going to get the fix? No, we fixed it. The modders fixed it on PC. Do we get mods? No. Like, are you building Seattle? No, but excellent excellent catch. This is loosely based on Seattle, but only because it's the campus is based on University of Washington, Seattle. Other than that, it's just purely coincidence. But it is set, like the university is set between the river and the highway in the south part of the city. Todd.
Even view distant weather systems across the map.
But I am going to call it for tonight. I would love to rant and rave and hang out with you all some more. I hope that you stick around. Subscribe for more. I will be back with Cities content absolutely at some point. It may be a bit. I don't want to play this broken mess right now. And I can see right now infuriating zoning, like a bunch of people have moved out. Every bit of grass that you see there where there isn't a tree, there was a house there before. There was a house there 20 minutes ago. And we had such a significant death wave that the game is just falling apart. So, hope the city's fixed soon. Yeah, I've got a couple saves, so eventually, you know, I can always reload one of those. But I hope that you found something informative or it gave you some insight. If you are playing on PC or with a keyboard and mouse on console, you're in infinitely better shape. But there's obviously still some things that they desperately need to fix. I hope that they do. I really hope that they do. Like, I want this game to be successful. I have always wanted that. It's unfortunate that they continue to disappoint, though. It's really crazy how bad some of this is. I really hope that they start turning it around. I lose hope more and more every time, though, that why do I think it's going to be any different next time? But next stream is going to be different because it's going to be a different game. So come hang out, say hi. Usually playing something stupid. I will see you on the next one. Until then, this is Move the Mouse, and this is Glacier and Neos. And another song playing? That would have been a lot smoother if I got rid of the other song. Have a good evening, everybody. Leave a like if you haven't already. Adia put a link, tinyurl.com/move the mouse in the chat if you want to hang out in the Discord and talk about other games. There's a few of us that hang out in there pretty regularly, but it is pretty quiet. So stop in and say hello, or just stop by next stream. I'll see you on the next one. Everybody, have a good one. Catch you whenever, but probably not in cities for a bit. Look at all that zoning. I'm just going to be ranting here for a bit, so I'll miss your CS gameplay. Well, there's lots of old videos you can catch up on, and if you missed any river run, you could always get caught up to where we are today. There's a new Boston build. There's lots of stuff that will be happening. I'm just not going to play it where it's going to break my city, so we'll get there. We'll get there. I'll catch you on the next one. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Yeah, come back. Catch some streams. There'll be some different games, but definitely cities once it is fixed. If it is like 4 years later and you haven't seen that cities content yet, it's because they never fixed it. That would be sad. Can you imagine going back, like, no city stream for 4 years? RIP.